and the clouds are below level, and the sun is below the clouds, shining upward into your eyes. How is that happening? What's your final answer?
You flip the camera upside down. Boom.
What is it?
Your focal length.
Your focal.
That sun is not actually that close to you. It just appears to be, right?
Why not?
Who said it's close to you? No, I didn't say it's close to you.
Yeah.
I didn't say it's close to you.
Well,
this one.
It looks like it's right there under the clouds.
No, it
right?
doesn't.
It just appears that way. It's actually not.
No
Okay,
more
what
than
about
four-
this?
Clouds. That's actually hot lava.
What about this? What about this one?
Yeah, those are rocks, and that's hot lava. Oh, that's definitely lava there. Must
That's
be a volcano.
definitely
Those are clouds. Those are clouds, Rakia.
No, but underneath, that's hot
It's
molten
lava?
lava lighting up the clouds.
Yeah, molten lava.
No,
like
those aren't
obvious.
clouds, Rakia. Why
Those
are you
are
trying
puffy
to
rock.
deceive us?
puffy rocks.
Puffy rock.
Popcorn.
You know, the kind that you rub your skin against. Got all the holes in them.
God.
It's moldy cheese puffs. Moldy cheese puffs is what it is.
It's amazing how those clouds are different colors and excited gases.
Excited gases.
They're not excited. They're just illuminated.
Yeah, illuminated. They're given energy.
Wait, is illuminated the same as excited gases? When a gas reflects light, is it given energy?
How come all your photos are so sucky? They're small.
That's
They're small.
that's probably not his photo, by the way.
Zanuck, why do your photos suck?
They're small. They're tiny. When I enlarge them, they're still the same size.
Well, that's because it's not perspective; it's apparent.
It just seems
It
like
looks like CGI
it just looks
Photoshop,
like they're
actually.
small,
It
Brenda.
looks like
Brenda,
Photoshop.
It's apparently small, but they're really big.
Zanuck, Brenda has a problem with your size. It's just not big enough.
Even when she zooms in and gets really
That's not what
close,
she
it's
said.
too small. Zanuck, that looks Photoshop, man. I don't know. What you trying to do here? Until I see it for myself. Yeah, mysterious. I think the moon is more mysterious. It does some different things.
Yeah,
What's the most mysterious thing about the moon?
it's so much
Moyak,
Cycle.
observations, right?
How it affects people's moods seems to, anyway.
Moyak, you sound really weird. Can you fix your mic, please?
My mic is fine. I'm in a car.
Oh.
No, it's terrible. It's worse than curves.
Did you steal the intercom from a drive-through, Boyak?
No, let's see if, I don't think sound noise canceling works so
That
It
sucks.
usually
Is that
sounds
nothing
good.
to do with noise canceling?
Yeah, it usually sounds good. It sounds terrible today.
I do believe Zanuck should remain muted till he finishes typing whatever he was typing.
Any different?
No.
No. Okay.
Hey, Zanuck, I'm thinking about, I'm not thinking about, I'm redoing my horizontal over water test. How you think I can make a true horizontal over, for long distance?
Why don't you ask a surveyor, like Jesse Kozlowski or one of those guys, how you would configure
Well, I
it?
tried to ask Larry earlier, but I guess he had to go.
You could force the line with a structure.
The structure is going to bend, though.
That's hard to do.
It is hard to do. What are you trying
Find
to
a jetty or a pontoon and use that as your level line.
There's got to be a way to do it with grade
Surveyor.
stakes, right? To
Surveyor.
establish.
surveyor information?
Just hire a surveyor. Yeah.
Surveyor or get a theodolite.
Yeah, theodolite would work.
Yeah, I have that. That's what I did. But
I think what you could do, when you're doing your reverse phenotype or your reverse measurement, or your closing loop or whatever you want to call it, aim at the original transit at the exact point, but when you're aiming downrange to the second position, wherever that line falls, you've got to mark, and then you got to continue doing that each time because it's going to keep on falling higher and higher.
Is your microphone from the 1920s? Is that it?
yeah, I'm being honest. I didn't hear.
In the blue corner.
I can't really make out
like
what
it.
you're saying, Moyak.
Okay.
And Moyak he's coming in for a return visit.
I know when you did this the first time, Rakia, what instrument were you using? theodolite or auto level?
We had one theodolite, but we didn't use it. We only used it in certain spots to double check because we didn't want to, like put it in the near the water. We used it on piers, but most of the time we were just using the auto levels.
Hey, I got a suggestion, Rakia. What you do is you get a theodolite and you establish a station, establish horizontal and your vertical line, and then you go to another place some distance away and you do the same thing there, and then you measure between the two, and you measure the how much of a deviation there is between the two.
Are you out of your mind, Brenda? I'll say it for him.
Yeah, that's not creating a horizontal plane anyway.
Take the horizontal at each stage,
Whoa.
and then you measure to see if there's a difference between the two, right?
Your mic is super loud, like a PA system.
But
Sorry, I'm really apologizing.
how do you expect to be able to measure this minute difference accurately?
Two angles would add up to more than 180 degrees, right?
Yeah, I think that's what you've heard. So over what distance did you do it?
Just a suggestion, what you could do.
Oh, okay. So I was
Okay,
going to try
I
and
was-
repeat yours.
I was hearing something different. So apparently you're talking about measuring reciprocal zenith angles, Brenda?
She's talking about spherical excess.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm talking about creating a horizontal plane, measuring drop from it. What would be the best way? Like if you were going to tell me what the best way to do that would be.
Just establish a horizontal based on plumb. That's using a level, a bubble level will do. And then look at things at a
Right.
distance. Go up a certain elevation and then look at things on that horizontal. If they're below it, then the earth is round. If it's the same, then they're
Zanuck,
flat.
you're babbling.
Yeah, we've done that. We just run into the distance. If you go more than 500 feet on most days, you're getting a pretty good change measurement. I want to take out refraction as much as possible.
So if you go 400 yards like Kozlowski does, and you'll see, or the main surveyor, and you'll see a big drop over 400 yards. No refraction.
400
Use
yards,
feet.
okay. So 1,200 feet.
Yeah.
How much drop would be in 1,200 foot?
You'll see a couple inches.
A couple.
So-
Go ahead. You keep sticking your foot farther up your ass there, Zanuck. Go ahead.
So Rakia, you do what?
Talking about, Curry.
He lives on a basketball, I guess.
What fucking drop do you think you'll get? A couple inches over 1,200 feet?
Come on, Zanuck. That's cray cray.
A couple millimeters.
Zanuck, you got to get
A
off.
couple
the
millimeters.
juice,
Okay,
man.
that makes more sense.
Yeah, a couple millimeters maybe, which is measurable, right? But then
Why are you doing
worry about
yards and
accuracy.
millimeters? You're fucking with us.
I think Zanuck's trolling us.
You do the reciprocal zenith angles test, Rakia.
Uh-huh.
And if the plumb lines add up to greater than 180 degrees, then they are not parallel.
Then you know you've made a mistake because it wouldn't be plumb.
That's just begging the question there. That's,
No, it's you made a wrong
Isn't that your favorite
calculation. Like
fallacy?
you didn't introduce the right refraction rate, or you set up your instrument wrong, or there's some human error
everything.
there, or whatever.
Yeah, but suppose I didn't make a mistake.
Well, yeah, how would you know that?
Because there's a way to do it and a way not to do it. I do it the correct way.
Right, and what way would that be?
You establish,
When you set up your theodolite, how do you do it? What do you do first?
you set up a station and you establish plumb, and then from that you can establish horizontal. Then you go to the second station, you do the same thing again,
That's
and then
how
you
do it.
measure between them, and then the two plumbs have to greater than 100 degrees.
Are you and Zanuck in the same room?
Akia, why are you doing the test?
I'm sorry. What'd you ask?
You said that you're going to do a test, but why are you doing a test?
Yeah, I'm gonna redo my test because I wanna do it the way that like a main surveyor would tell me, and then also get a surveyor to double check my work and also use a water level to like triple check and see the different measurements that we get with with me doing it, with a surveyor doing it, and with a water level.
And if the surveyor says you're making a fundamental mistake in your calculation and the way you
Yeah.
set this up, you'll accept that?
Yeah, if he's saying my calculations are off,
No,
which
no.
I don't know what we're calculating, right? It's not really any calculations.
What
Right,
about
yeah.
your methodologies?
Yeah.
off?
That's what
Okay,
the
you,
problem
but
with
that's how you.
If he
That's how
tells
you
me
do it.
that you need to do it over one shot, right? Then we're gonna have a discussion over doing it over one shot. If he tells me that I did it wrong, then I'm gonna ask him how to do it right. And if he says
Okay,
over
yeah.
one shot, then we're gonna talk about that because we all know that doesn't work over like
After
2 or
you
3 months.
establish the horizontal, you have to go. I think what you have to do is you have to go optical for the rest of the.
Yeah, I can establish a horizontal over 400 or 500 foot or 600 or 1,000 foot. I don't have a doubt in that. It's just how to extend that horizontal without deviating, right? Within the margin of error that I would need to show whether I had significant earth curvature or if the
second
surface underneath
station.
was parallel.
Hello. The second station,
Line of sight.
you would have to establish a new height for the transit or total station, whatever you want to call it.
Right. You can
Wherever
just say
it's down,
transit.
second
We use
station,
transit
maybe.
around here.
Well, after your first auto level usage, you got to toss auto level.
Yeah, no, the
Yeah,
second
well-
station, you would aim back at the original station from your new elevation that you observe. So wherever the crosshairs hit that 1 or 2 millimeters high, you would now put the station 1 or 2 millimeters higher at the other end, and then you would establish a straight line to the first station, and then that would establish a continuation of the horizontal.
Right. But they're saying, and you could do that not with an auto level, but with let's just say it's a transit, right? A manual where you're shooting back to your established benchmarks, which are at a certain height, which are horizontal. Like the top of the grade stakes are the same height as each other in free
It's a
space.
little bit different. But at each station, you have to establish wherever the optics take you is your new height.
Okay, I asked you why are you doing it. You told me how you do it, but I asked why because you said that if you measure reciprocal zenith angles, then you're doing it wrong.
Oh, why am I doing it? To see if I can create a horizontal line long enough to show if the water is curving or if it's horizontal, parallel.
Yeah, but you just said that if someone measures reciprocal zenith angles, their measurement is wrong because you can't have those. So
Yeah, because you run into the same issues when you're shooting 400 or 500 foot and you're setting up multiple locations with line of sight. You're getting fractions off, right? Just due to human error.
Yeah, sure. So you didn't say that you can't measure those angles. It's just that you can have a faulty equipment or your method is wrong.
Yeah, every time you take a measurement, there's plus and minuses. I mean, sometimes you come up with
Sure.
with less than 180 degrees, right?
Could
I
be,
mean,
yeah. But
yeah,
you're not saying that you're not like closing the door on
closing the
plumb
loop.
lines not being parallel.
Closing the loop doesn't help you create a better horizontal. It just takes out the error in your work. Yeah, I said that wrong, but you understand what I'm saying? The process stays the
Yep.
same. Closing the loop just kind of double checks your work. And you have to be careful then. You have to, when you come back, you have to take the shots at the same distance apart that you did the first time. That's why you write everything down and, mark where you set up and where you took shots from at what distances, because even time of day can affect that, right? But you just have a margin of error there. That's what we're trying to get rid of. And to be honest, I don't know a way. I mean, I don't know a way, but 8 inches over 1 mile is a lot, right? I can do it 100 different ways and I never get that.
There's one way that you haven't done over a mile.
How's that?
Set up an auto level and look a mile away and measure the drop at a mile.
Yeah, I've done that.
What'd you come up with?
I came up with plus or minus. Now, when I did it the first time, we did it over a road that we got the engineering plans for, and I think we had a lot of refraction because we actually came up with a negative result. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, instead of 8 inches, it came up to plus 2 inches. Heat
That
from
the
road
road was
or whatever.
higher.
No, we
2
wasn't
inches
shooting
other one.
elevation. No, elevation is different. We were shooting on a road, but we wasn't shooting the elevation of the road. You understand? See, when we're creating a horizontal plane, we're doing it in free space. It doesn't care if the road is sloping or level or curved. It doesn't care. You're just using a certain point of that road to create a benchmark, an elevation above the road where you can create that horizontal in any direction from that point. It's just a reference.
Are your instruments on the road? What are you sighting?
Yeah, we were on the road this time. I've done it over water too, but we did it long distance over water, not,
But it's
not for accuracy, just to see what we were.
It's already been
What were
done.
you sighting to?
A story pole.
And where was the story pole? A mile away in the water?
Well, at the water's edge, at the height of the water.
A mile away.
What was your instrument's height relation to the water?
Well, I would say it's about, I'd have to go back and look, but there's probably 4.5 foot off the ground. Depends on how much you extend the legs.
So the road was at water level?
No, that's 2 different shots.
It's 2 different measurements.
2 different measurements.
Okay, I'm going to try again some other time. I can't do this right now.
Curve on my short distance observation that Kozlowski did. I said a couple inches. I was a little big on that, but we're looking at over an inch, right?
Yeah.
And it's over something very tangible, very short, where something for fraction.
Just real quick, Zanuck, you're not talking to me, are you?
I'm talking to you. Why do you think that short observation?
Zanuck, listen to me. I am leaving. I'm trying to not be rude and let you know that I'm walking away, and I will not hear you. So it seemed
fine.
like you were talking to me. I just wanted to be courteous and let you know that.
You don't have to clarify. I get it. If you have to leave,
I'll talk to you, Zanuck. I'll tell you about my observations.
No, but we've already done
plus or minus 1 inch on different days.
With a very accurate measuring device called a theodolite or an auto level. You can look at something 1,200 feet, 400 yards away and see a discernible change from level. That's curvature.
Right.
You guys are forgetting the most
That's
accurate way to measure
How
something
far
over
much
vast
how much
distance.
deviation?
It's called a water
Kurt made
level.
fun of me saying a couple inches, and I did a little flippantly. But
Yeah,
how much
1,200
deviation-
foot,
Well, how much deviation do you think you'd get over 1,200 feet?
quarter of an inch maybe.
No. Why would you
I'd
say
have
that?
to calculate it. Yeah,
Well,
because it's
how would
nowhere
you
near 2
calculate?
inches.
How would you calculate that?
Well, you would use the Earth curve calculator dealing with the radius that you have.
Okay, how would you calculate it then?
Well, I'd have to put it in the calculator.
So you'd be able to put the numbers in a calculator. Is what you're saying? You're not going to calculate.
Yeah.
It. You're just going to
Yeah,
stick it in there.
calculate
And
it.
so what's the number that everyone knows over a mile?
8 inches per mile square.
So what do you think it is at a half mile?
2 inches.
Okay. And how far is 1,600 feet?
And what is a half of 8 inches?
Quarter of a mile, maybe somewhere in there.
A quarter of a mile?
And a mile is
Okay.
56. Yeah.
So you might see over an inch of drop, right? An inch.
No, I would say it's like a quarter. It would be a quarter.
Were you going linear
Eighth of an
there,
inch.
Zanuck?
I'd say it's a quarter of an inch, maybe. Not
What?
even that.
Why'd you do that?
Sound like you're going linear in your
Estimation.
estimate.
Someone work it out. I can't right now. It's
I already told you what
easy
it
to
was.
plug in.
Because half a mile won't be 4 inches, right?
You said it was an inch.
Yeah, a quarter mile.
I
It's
have- I asked him what half of 8 inches was.
Oh, no, and this is
Yeah,
getting a
but
little ridiculous.
that would not be
man.
half a mile, though, right?
Yeah, but when you
Right.
go down to from a mile to a half a mile, it's not half of 8 inches.
Right.
Not-
It's, you
But I
had
asked you what was
Two
half of 8 inches. That was my question.
And you guys are also
8 inches,
assuming a
obviously,
perfect
but the drop
scenario.
would only be 2 inches.
This is ridiculous. You know, this is why things like the black swan exist, because the Earth gravity isn't an exact rounded thing everywhere, according to their models. So this, I mean, you calculating micro instances like this are just not happening.
Yeah, it does.
You're not going to calculate the expected.
Can I ask a simpler question, Rakia? Why wouldn't you just like stick your theodolite in Metairie and point it to Mandeville and see what you see? Put it at level and see what it hits.
Yeah, I've done that
What's
before.
wrong with that?
I actually showed my crosshairs on the Marriott before, and y'all laughed. And
No, I'm not talking from the Marriott. I'm talking from the shoreline, right? You can go off to that path,
yeah,
right? That you can walk
Mandeville
along.
to Metairie. That's the Marriott.
No, the other way from because
So Metairie to Mandeville.
yeah,
There's
and see if you can
shoot
see
like
it.
the
Go up
guard
there.
tower where they collect the money for the toll bridge.
Yeah, because there's only like two-story structures on the other side, right? Can you see any of them from the
Well,
shoreline?
there's big houses, yeah.
But 2 stories, right? There's no skyscrapers over in
No, there's
Mandeville.
just big homes and like a water tower.
Are there
Yeah.
any
So when you're
structures
standing
big
on the
enough?
shoreline at maybe a foot, 6 foot high, can you see any of the buildings over in Mandeville?
Some days, yeah. Most days.
Can you see them? Why can't you see them every day, you think?
Because it's a freaking toxic area.
And so when you stick your theodolite and you point it, you level it, and you point it towards the other shoreline, what do you see when you look through that thing?
Usually just haze.
And so you never see any houses, right?
Yeah, you can see houses on certain days. Clear, crisp days with.
Level?
What do you mean level? Well, you're not going to get a good measurement over that. You can make out that it's a house.
Are they
You know what?
dropping?
Have you ever looked through an optic for 24 miles?
No, I haven't. I'm just curious what you see, though.
Yeah, it's a long way. You just see like the outline of a house, building, or a bridge, or.
Like you can do this at night, right? And you can kind of see lights or something. Do you ever see lights
Sure.
at the level line of your theodolite?
Never looked at the outlight at night. But yeah, you can see lights across the lake at night. But you can't tell what height they are. You're just seeing light. Are you asking, can you see a laser at 6 foot?
No,
over the lake?
I'm not.
Yeah,
No,
people
lasers
have
are
done
lasers are a distraction because
It's
lasers and
about-
lights are not the exact same thing when you're seeing it.
Oh, okay.
Horizon drop, man.
And so you've never bothered to try to get your theodolite, level it out, point it towards the other shoreline, and see if you can see anything over there.
I've
See
done that.
if it hits anything.
Done that many times. I've shot the side of the Marriott because the Marriott, you can see a lot. It reflects a lot of light because it's shiny glass.
But the Marriott's like 12 stories or something, right?
Oh, it's more than that.
Yeah, and so what part does it hit when you level it? So I assume you're leveling it in Mandeville or something, and you point it towards Metairie,
Yeah, there's a couple spots.
and your level hits the Marriott.
Yeah, you can hit the Marriott sometimes, but sometimes it's even the top is hidden.
Wait,
Sometimes
okay, hold
about
on.
midway is hidden. Sometimes you can't see any of it.
So you're standing on the shoreline in Mandeville. You level out your theodolite, and you hit several stories up on the Marriott.
Mm-hmm.
How do you explain that?
What do you mean?
It seems like your level should hit 6 foot at 6 foot of the Marriott, not 3 stories up.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you can't tell where you're hitting. That's why I'm saying you can't take a measurement.
Why can't you? Don't these
Because it's
theodolite things
24
have lines
miles
on
over
them?
water.
But don't these theodolite things have lines on them that you look through and it has like a crosshairs?
Yeah, crosshairs. Right.
So it has a
But
crosshair.
the objects
crosshair hits
in
something,
the
right?
distance. Okay, let me give you a reference. All right. So we're talking about 24-mile observation.
I know.
A surveyor at less than 3 miles with the crosshairs being in the same spot, on certain days gets 1 foot deviation, some days gets 40 foot. You understand what I'm saying? That's documented.
Yeah, I
So over 24 miles, you can see the problems we're going to run into. It's impossible.
I'm skeptical.
Well, you don't have to be. It's proven. Even people on your side.
They get 40-foot deviation.
Yeah, 2.7 miles. 12 foot off the water. They get 40 foot on certain afternoons when it's highly refracted. Of course, they're going to get anywhere in between there. Plus, on certain days, it's going to be the opposite, right? Which is something I got laughed at about 3 years ago, too, when I said the horizon some days appears higher than the crosshairs. And you can do this yourself. You can set up a crosshair at about 2 foot off the ground over water, and the water will appear higher than the crosshairs.
But see, you've gone a long ways not to just answer the simple question I asked. Is when you pointed your theodolite, where did your crosshairs hit on the Marriott?
On the side of the building.
How far up? Can you tell?
Who knows? You can't tell.
You couldn't tell if it was 6 floors or 2 floors or.
No, it's all.
You can't count windows. No.
Well, I mean, you can try.
No, you can do it.
So
yeah, you can't do it accurately.
You can count 1, 2, 3s.
No, we
So how many different days did you do this, Rocky? Yeah.
You have the finger.
How many times have I done that?
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
And so okay. So just so you did it 4 different times. And did any of those times did the crosshairs not hit a few floors at least up on the building?
Every time I would say I never hit the levee, if that's what you're asking. You know, there's a levee in front.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Are you sure? And
so every time your crosshairs, when you leveled out, it hit a few floors up on the building, right? Higher than where you were standing.
Of course, you don't see the levee, right? Because it's like land, and it doesn't reflect light as good as the mirrored glass of the building.
That's one explanation for not seeing it. I understand. But there's another.
Rakia, if the compression looked even from the horizon.
But what you're definitely saying, though, is every
the
time you've done this.
upper floors are more visible than the lower floors.
Yeah, I got you. But the 4 times you did it, your crosshairs hit a part of that building well above the first floor.
Yeah, I would say you're never going to see the first floor.
And that doesn't strike you at all as odd.
That something 24 miles away over water is being refracted up or down, or
so is that what you expected?
I even show. I don't know if you call it sideways refraction, but I even show that in the bridge.
Did you have an expectation when you pointed your theodolite over there? Did you expect to see anything?
Actually, no. We were just seeing what it would do. Like even if we could see, because it's only 32 times zoom. You don't even zoom. It's 32 times optic.
Yeah. So your expectations couldn't have been thwarted because you had none.
We weren't doing it to measure or to show curvature or flatness. We were just setting up to see what we saw.
So am I misrepresenting you to say you had no expectations?
No, that's fine. If you want to know, my expectations was to see what the refractive effects, like on what day, where would the crosshairs hit on this day and this day and this day. But to be honest, you can't tell good enough to be definitive, even to show refraction. Like it hit 12 stories up this day, or 8 or 1, or it's impossible. Most days you go out and you can't even see across the lake.
Yeah, but you're never hitting the water, right?
Oh no, I've never hit the water.
Yeah.
Not from that height. Now, if you lower, you get down to a foot or two on some days. Like the first day I went out and shot with a camera by the power lines. I wasn't a flat earther. I was just looking into the power line curvature, and I saw a water bulge. Like you can shoot that a lot. Like what appears to be a bulge of water, not far away from you. Like not far at all. It's amazing.
No, I get you. But if there's 2 competing models in your mind, and in mine, everybody else is here, and one of the models would say that if you did exactly what you said you do, and you pointed the data light across the lake, one of the models says you're going to hit the middle of that building somewhere. You're going to hit several floors up. The other model says you should very well hit 6 feet. You should hit the front door of that building.
No, not from 24 miles. You're never going to.
No, that's what the models would say, right?
No, there's always refraction.
But refraction.
It's always going to be loomed up or compressed.
Yeah, no, but refraction would move it up, right? But so on a flat Earth, if you had refraction, you'd be hitting the water, right? According to that theory.
Yeah, some days.
But you never hit the water.
Low enough, no. On some days, if you got low enough, which you would, your crosshairs would be in the water. And on other days, you could go set up at. Hang on, hear me out. And on other days, you could go set up at the same height, 2 foot, let's say, and it would be above the water. It's just the water, the physical appearance, the physical water being, the appearance of it being higher, because the crosshairs are the same. They're always in the same spot.
Let's go back to the 6 foot one. Let's go back to the one where you hit the Marriott.
Right.
What explanation? How can refraction make those crosshairs hit 3 floors up?
The refraction's not making the crosshairs hit that far up. The refraction is making the object in the distance do whatever it does.
Fine.
Magnify, loom,
How does
stretch,
that work?
Tower.
How does that work?
Yeah, compress.
Explain that one to me. How does refraction make whatever you said happen?
Whenever I could write that down. How does,
and so you don't know how it works,
but
you're just going to say that's
get
what's happening.
Distorted over water over 24 miles? Is that what you're asking?
No, but according to everything that we know about refraction, meaning the human race, the refraction would cause you to hit further down on the building, not further up on the building.
No, refraction.
And so the more refraction you have on any given day, you get further and further down the building, right? So nothing explains why you would hit up.
Foreground looming, we talk about it all the time.
Rocky's explanation is he doesn't know any better. Just take him at his word.
No, we know about foreground looming and background compression.
Yeah, but it's always looming, right? It's never sinking.
Towering and all. No, it's not always. That's what I'm saying. You can't even get a good enough measurement to say it's always anything. It's definitely not always anything.
But you did it 4 times, and all 4 times you saw well above the first floor, right?
4 times is going to tell you what?
Enough.
I couldn't tell you on all 4 times where I hit it. Definitely wasn't in the same spot.
You're definitely not reaching conclusions based on evidence.
You said every time it was above the first floor, right?
I'm 6 foot every time, and the building didn't move, right? They didn't jack the building up or lower it at all. Yet the crosshairs hit all 4 days in 4 different positions. I know that.
But all 4 of those was above the first floor, though, right?
I would assume. I can't tell you that. I wouldn't bet my life on that. I mean, it did seem like I saw more than 1 floor underneath the crosshairs, but I don't know if that's some type of optical effect.
What kind of optical effect would it be?
Are you kidding me, right? I mean, you're really kidding me right now, right? Because some days the sky appears to be below the building. Like the building appears to be floating in the sky. And the building, we all know, is not floating in the sky, right? It just appears that way because of the optical effect.
It sounds to me like you're saying nothing you could possibly see can convince you that it's actually dropping.
You're right. Nothing I can see unless I'm holding a tape measure, measuring drop from horizontal over set grade stakes, like benchmarks show.
Why would you want to take up that position? Why do you think you want to take up that position?
That is the only true way to know a shape is to measure it.
Well, but you just agreed that nothing you could see would change your mind about this flat
over
Earth thing.
distance through the atmosphere. Yeah, that would be ludicrous to base my opinion.
So you're going to reject what you actually see in favor of some other idea that you have. I'm asking why.
Quite the opposite. I'm not rejecting what I see over long distance. It's actually telling me that is the very reason not to accept it as a measurement.
Right.
Because every day you see different things.
Yeah, we're looking at the macro. He's saying I recognize this micro, and I want to just look
But
at
it's
all
not
of
radically different. It's slightly
Sure,
different.
what?
Right?
Are you kidding me, right? So I know you said earlier
No.
you've never looked over in optics over long distance. So, you're just spouting that off with no, I mean, yes, it's radical. It's amazingly radical.
I've looked
40
over
foot,
long.
it can be 40 foot in one afternoon. You can take a measurement in the morning.
Yeah, I don't
right?
believe that.
And it would be
Sorry.
X. And then
No.
in the afternoon, it would be 40-foot difference over 2.7 miles.
I don't believe you. Sorry.
Okay, well then that's not me. That's George. You can take it up with him.
Well, George says you're lying about it too, Rocky.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
Rakia?
take it up with George then.
I'd bring that comment straight back if I were you, buddy.
Oh, you would? Why would you do that?
Because you lied.
I'm lying? So he
You
didn't
just got one person saying I don't believe you, and another one confirmed that you were wrong. So
Well, that's fine, and that's why I said I'll take it up with George. I'm fine with doing that. I got no problem with that. If I'm wrong, I'll tell you I was wrong. I think I have it on a chat. Y'all want me to pull over and post it? That would be cool.
you were just told you were wrong by someone who heard it.
Okay.
That doesn't position him as a liar yet.
Yeah.
Well, it did because he said take it up with George, and that's
No, I said I would
when
take
it
it up with
became the
George.
lie.
Yeah, I said I would take it up.
No,
with
you
George.
said it's what he says.
Yeah, I do. And if I'm getting it wrong and I take it up with
there you
George,
go.
I'll come back and tell you I was wrong. There you go. Yeah, that's what a man would do. As of right now, when I spoke to George and he sent me pictures and said that's about 40-foot difference, that's what I'm going by. I was amazed, right? I'm even amazed at that. 2.7 miles getting a 40-foot difference? That is crazy. I didn't even believe it. I don't expect you to. I've never gotten that. How more honest can I be?
Well, all we're kind of asking is for you to be honest with what you've actually seen.
Well, obviously that's what I'm
Not
doing.
projecting
Right?
what you've seen.
I'm not projecting anything.
No, I just didn't say projecting. I said rejecting what you've seen.
Oh, I'm not rejecting.
what
I'm
you've seen,
actually, I'm
according
not rejecting. See, you've said that twice, and I've explained it already. I'll explain it again. Because of what I've seen and learned about how unbelievably a structure can be refracted up, down, and to the side, I don't trust it as a measurement anymore.
I don't think you've ever seen a structure refracted to the side very much, have you?
Yeah, I've never heard that argument.
Did you just make that one up?
Well, no, well, let me explain what I've seen, and you can tell me what it is. So maybe I'm stating it wrong, and that's fair enough. So when a bridge is straight, right? We can all go check this bridge. It's straight to the land, and when you get to a certain angle on a refracted day, it appears to bend towards you at whatever angle you're at. So if you're facing a bridge and you're to the left of it, it bends to the left. And then on the same day, like 20 minutes later, you go to the right of it and it appears to bend to the right. What is that?
And I have to see it, and we can talk about it.
I'll post it, no problem.
But I'm just very curious about your four personal experiences with pointing this theodolite at the Marriott, and I don't know why you reject your own results.
I don't reject anything. But
we agreed that the four times you did it, you hit the middle of the building, right?
I've hit the face of the building, yeah. But it's an apparent position of the building. I know that for a fact.
But it's what you saw. It's what your
There's no yeah
crosshairs
but
hit,
in
right?
that. You can't yeah but your measurements. Like I would never measure using that setup and say that's accurate. There's no way. I mean, I would say the opposite. I would say it's absolutely 100% not accurate.
But can you come up with one good reason for yourself that would convince yourself why that crosshairs hit the third story?
Yeah, because it's being refracted.
But refraction works in the exact opposite direction, right?
No, that's something y'all seem to stick to. Give
Well,
me one
where
second.
do you get
Hang on,
your where
give
did
me,
you get
hang
your
on, give me
understanding
one
of
second,
how
all right?
refraction
Give me
works?
1 second. I have workers texting me. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back.
Cool. So,
So-
how many more headbutts left, Scott?
Yeah, I got 2 more. No, 1 more maybe.
Hang
So
on, let me show you the bridge. This is when I
no,
was
I don't
shooting.
want to go on the bridge. That's a
Yeah, but
distraction.
yeah,
No, I don't want.
because
I don't want to go to
made
the.
a
I don't want to
claim.
go to the
I
bridge,
made a
man.
claim. This is sideways refraction.
I
I want to
know.
know what you think it is.
But that
'Cause
claim
this-
itself is
this-
a distraction from the only question I have.
No, it's not. We can go back because I have a long.
The only question I have is how, in your mind, do you explain where those crosshairs hit? And you said refraction, and I want to know if what understanding of refraction is in your mind that allows you to make that conclusion.
Because I've learned a lot about refraction. Like, you see the building, the Marriott picture that I posted where it looks like it's floating in the air? If I would set up my crosshairs that day, it would hit that air spot, right?
Yes, lower on the building, right?
Well, wherever. You wouldn't know. It's in the sky. It's just
Well,
in the...
we
you
agree
know
that
it's not
refraction,
sky
when
there,
it
right?
happens,
You know there's building
yes,
there.
yes, I agree.
Okay.
But we agree that when refraction occurs, and we agree that it occurs, that it would cause your crosshairs to hit lower on the target, right?
Some days, yeah. Some days it does
Okay,
hit
so
lower.
is any
Some
day
days
it would
hit
hit? Is there any day that refraction would cause it to hit higher?
Yeah, I just stated that. Some days it hits lower, some days it hits higher. But again, it's really hard to tell because you're just shooting at an apparent position of that building. Because some days the floors are compressed, some days they're stretched, some days the building appears lower, the top of the building, some days it appears higher. I mean, it's absolutely insane, actually. I never knew this happened until I started.
Would there ever be a day when you would there ever be a day when you hit the first floor of the building with the crosshairs?
Over Lake Pontchartrain, 24 miles? I doubt it.
And that doesn't bother you at all? That
Are
doesn't
you
go,
guys, are you guys talking about the equipment though that's only supposed to be 500 or 1,000?
That doesn't make you think,
type
well,
of
maybe it
equipment?
is curved.
24 miles over water, over
Wait.
Lake Pontchartrain?
Real
No,
quick,
I would
there'd be
say
one
there's
time
always
it hit
going to be
the
a
first
lot of
floor, no?
refraction.
Dude.
I've never.
Dude,
I
Rocky.
don't even think you belong in this conversation if you think on a certain day, 24 miles over Lake Pontchartrain, you should get an accurate reading.
I didn't say accurate. I'm not trying to state what the actual curve is.
That's
So
number 2, Scott.
So you're saying if I did hit
I'm
the
actually done. That was
so
three
you're
for
saying
me.
if I did hit the front first
out.
floor, that would mean it's refracted, right? I mean, you see what I'm saying? When do you discard refraction? You can't always.
Ricky, everything you see is fucking refracted, dude.
Yeah, everything's
think-
refracted in the
I
atmosphere.
think
over
the
long
issue
distances.
is
No.
that
Hang on,
at
Don.
distance, you don't know where the center point is, man.
You never
Don,
know
hang on.
what's true from that distance.
You don't
Hang
know
on.
if you're above level or below level.
Yeah, you only know where the crosshairs are. That's all you know. You
Yes.
know your
All I
crosshairs
wanted.
are
Rakia.
horizontal because those tools are very accurate.
Ricky, all light is refracted,
Yeah, I get it.
right? So stop
All
using
right.
that word.
Why do I have to stop using it when we're talking about how light affects the objects back to a viewer 24 miles away?
Yeah, and how many times do you think the people in here have heard the word refraction or refracted? We know what the fuck you're talking about.
He was asking me questions there. Simmer down there, cowboy.
And you kept answering questions he didn't ask.
Okay.
Tell me what to fucking do. Yeah, religious bullshit on me, boy.
Boy.
Who's getting religious?
I don't know. This guy's
No,
off
because
his
he's
rocker.
telling me to calm down, like it's the fact that I have to respect his authority.
Oh, okay. Well,
You don't have to do nothing. I think it's strange that you're getting upset.
No, I think it's the fact you don't understand interpretation of the shit you say. And yes, I'm attacking the person and not the argument here.
Oh, good for you. Just let us know when you're done.
Like I said, not a minute ago, don't tell me what the fuck to do. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Nobody.
Right then, keep it that way.
Alrighty then. Anybody want to talk about that bridge curving to the right and left? Appearing to?
No.
Why not? Is
Sounds
that
interesting.
left to right refraction, or is that just
Wait, did you not care?
an
Why
optical
not?
illusion?
Did you not care? Why not?
Does anybody want to talk about that, or just this guy
Obviously
wants to answer
not.
for everybody?
Maybe establish that there is left or right bending before you start trying to talk about it.
Well, the bridge is not curving that way, sir. I can post a picture of the bridge from that angle if you want, on a day that's not heavily refracted. I mean, you can drive across that section of the bridge. You don't have to turn, right? It's straight.
Oh my god.
Which bridge?
Lake
It just
Pontchartrain.
That was Whammer talking. Faw's light.
See the bridge.
It just strikes me as odd. Sorry if I'm talking over everybody. I can't see anybody's light on. Strikes me as odd, Rakia, that I've heard you say that you used to believe in a round Earth until you did some observations that demonstrated to you otherwise. But it sounds to me like every observation you made did not demonstrate to you otherwise, and you believe for some other reason other than what you've actually seen.
Well, you're making a bad assumption then, because that's exactly what even when I went out and shot the ones to the Marriott, I was still a glober. The ones that I shot the power line for the first time, that was my first observation. The first day out with my camera, I saw a water bulge and the power lines appearing to curve, right? And then I was like, holy cow, it is curving.
Okay. And then what convinced you otherwise?
Because I went out several other times and saw shore to shore from that point with no water bulge and no power line curving. So then I started studying refraction and what would happen. I didn't know anything about it. So there you go. Voila, here we are.
Wait, you saw shore to shore from how far to how far?
From that position, it's about 14 miles.
And you stood on the shore of one side of a 14-mile wide lake, and you saw the shore on the other
at
side.
that position, you're on the I-10 causeway. You're on the median.
I call bullshit. You can't see, if you're at sea level, you will not see 20 kilometers away.
Yeah, I didn't say I was at sea level. I said I was on the causeway, on the medium. It's very dangerous. Don't suggest it.
And the causeway is probably, what, 10, 15 feet up?
I would say at least 15.
Almost enough that it would allow you to see that distance.
Yeah, but no doubt. But on the point is the time before there was a water bulge in the way from the same position, an apparent water bulge.
What? So the causeway dipped down, did it?
Optics. That's all it is. The water didn't do anything. It was just optical illusion.
But the sea level has always been in one direction.
On a flight.
Yeah, I hate this bastardization of the word
Doesn't
optics.
always go in one direction.
It does. It just sometimes goes more in one direction
Does
than
not.
other times.
No.
Quick question.
The Earth always bends away from us. Always.
No, but
Scott,
then why
walk
does that
away.
spirit level stay
No, go ahead,
in the
go
middle on
ahead.
a plane flight?
Yeah, Scott, ask him what optics means.
Not sure I want
Because I don't think it means what he thinks it means.
to.
Yeah, it might not. It might be using the word
I'm
wrong.
guessing you're
You know
right.
what I mean? Yeah.
I actually, we don't. And honestly, man, I'm not even trying to rib you. We don't know what you mean.
I agree.
Someone explain to me why that spirit level stays level. On a plane flight.
Because it's level flight.
That's sure.
Why doesn't it
It's
move
got
backwards?
a constant attitude.
Over
When you put it in
X
its
amount of
equilibrium,
distance,
it
why
stays
isn't it
there
moving to the
unless you
back?
Move it.
Because it has a constant attitude.
Dude,
Idiot.
you're such a liar. It's not even
That's a
funny.
really dumb question.
Because you're just lying to yourself at this point.
That's right. We're all liars, Whammer. You're the only one who's in touch with the truth in
You
this.
really are an idiot. I mean, it's not
Yeah, I
even
know.
funny.
I know we are. Yeah.
I know,
You
you're specific.
didn't even
You're
answer
the
my
idiot.
questioning. You didn't even. The one thing I asked you was to look at the bridge curving to the left and right, and you said no because you're just so good, right? You're just too good to answer any of my questions, right?
What
For 20
questions do you have,
minutes, you've been
Raquel?
drilling me
Raquel,
with your
I'll answer any.
condescending
What questions do you
attitude
have?
and like you're better and you know more things. Oh, I don't even think you know what optics are. And I asked you to do one thing, was to look at this amazing bridge made of highly stressed steel. Do you know when they pull the cables in that concrete what that's called?
No, I don't. You can tell me that. I'll listen.
No, that's all right. I'll just
come on.
put myself up on a pedestal and
But here's the
show
thing,
everyone
Rocky.
that you don't know what
Rocky,
you're
come
talking
on.
about.
All right, come on.
It's called pre-stress, sir. You know
Cool.
what it does? It makes it really strong where it's not gonna bend or break, right? You can lift it. Normally you lift up concrete and it's gonna break on the bottom. It's gonna crack and then break. When you pre-stress it, you can lift it, turn it, twist it, do whatever the hell you want, and it ain't breaking under certain,
Cool.
until it reaches the breaking point. But it means that
yeah.
that bridge that I showed you bending where it's straight, that pre-stressed concrete that doesn't bend, it's not bending because of something physical. It's bending because of something, dare I say, optical.
Okay.
No, I'll settle down.
No,
I
that's
just had
fine.
to
I
take the
heard you.
piss out of you a little bit because y'all
No,
said,
that's you think you're
I
good.
didn't know what I was talking
You know, feel better about yourself. Good. I'm happy
I
to have
don't.
your life.
I don't care about that. I'm all good, brother.
Oh, good. Now, can we get back to Whammer calling us all liars again?
I called you a liar and an idiot.
Yeah. So, but you also think the entire world who doesn't
Just
agree
a
with you is a liar and
heavy-duty
idiot, right?
liar. I mean, that spirit level, it should be doing something besides staying in the center. I mean, how else would you adjust? I mean,
So
you
Whammer.
got to do something, and it just
Whammer.
stays in the center.
Whammer,
You
maybe
guys
you
are
can
just
help me
lying to
some.
yourself at this point.
Are we
Whammer,
on
maybe
that
you can help me with
airplane
something.
to fly down?
I mean, that's the end of the debate, really.
I know, it is. That's
You
why I'm
know,
not
the
going to
spirit
debate
level
you.
doesn't
I'm
lie.
not,
It just
I'm not gonna
tells you
debate
the
you.
bottom
I'm
line.
not
And then you get
debate
guys like whoever the fuck I'm talking to saying, "Oh no, your job."
Eva, hold on for a sec. I've been trying to get a flat earther to commit to this for a while now, and everybody got complete resistance.
It's round.
So Whammer, would you
It's
say that
round
the
'cause I
entire
say
world's
so.
lying to you?
Is that Arwen? He's been watching Arwen.
Would you say that the entire scientific community and the entire educated world is lying to you?
I don't know if they know they're lying.
No,
Okay.
I know that they.
Well, at
I
least
know
you
that
go
they
that
know
far.
that most of them know they're not lying. They're just educated in that way, and they're trying to do
Yeah.
their best to teach other people.
Yeah,
what they know.
that's
Becky
okay.
said I was a horrible person for calling her out, and Chemo wouldn't say it, and Lemon wouldn't say it. They come up with this thing like, not all of them. And I try to ask them, okay, which ones are not lying to us? And they couldn't name a single person. And I think logically you conclude that then they think that everybody's lying to them.
I definitely think some people know the truth and are intentionally.
You know the
deceiving.
truth. That spirit level doesn't lie. It's not as dumb. It can't be convinced either way. It just tells you the truth and it stays level.
Whammer, what would happen to the bubble inside of a spirit level when the plane is accelerating?
Nothing.
Nothing. So let's say we're in a car, because we're just talking about speeds and acceleration. So when you're not moving, it's totally level, right? The bubble's right in the middle. There's no deviation. Do you agree?
Sorry, is there a GIF I missed somewhere? Or did someone post something?
Shut the fuck up.
So Whammer, you would agree that a car that's not moving at all.
Point me to a timestamp of this thing I'm supposed to be seeing. I want to know what the spirit level we're talking about is.
Spirit level inside of a car,
What
Whammer.
the
I don't need to
fuck?
listen to you.
That ain't cool, man. Respect your elders. Respect
Bio.
the veterans in the group.
Are you guys looking at something? I want to look at it too.
No, it's an easy thought experiment because it's
Okay, never
very
mind then.
simple.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. So Whammer, to get a baseline, in a car that's not moving at all, we have a spirit level. Would you agree that the bubble is in the middle level?
Are you saying some acceleration does something to the bubble?
We're going to get to that, but we need a baseline
Are you
first.
saying acceleration does something to the bubble?
Not yet. I will get to that, but we need a baseline. So a car's not moving. You have a spirit level inside. The bubble is in the middle. It is level. Would you agree?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What do you think will happen when we start accelerating the car?
I mean, I guess it might be able to go to the back, but I don't think so. I mean, it's not gauging for that. It's whether you're level or not.
Doesn't the bubble go to the front?
Yes, the bubble will go to the front because when you accelerate, you impose a force on everything in the car, including the level, pushing the water back and the bubble forward. That's what.
No, but the spirit level would have to slightly tip one way or the other.
No,
if you accelerate, I can see it kind of.
It's all about
The
buoyancy.
water will go to the back like your head would go to the back.
Right, and then there are experiments.
I'm not so sure that's
showing
true.
this. Yes, there are.
Oh my God, Whammer, get the fuck out of here then. What the fuck?
Okay, even if that is true, that's no
Nope.
explanation.
No, this
The
is
explanation
why.
is buoyancy. The water goes back. The air is less dense than the water, so it floats on top of the water that's going backward. So it goes forward, just like a helium balloon goes forward when you accelerate. It's all about buoyancy.
Lighter than the air. The air is your head in that situation.
Right, and
Either way,
this
that
is why,
spirit level's level.
This is why. This is why we shouldn't talk about the complicated. We shouldn't talk about the complicated unless we understand the basics. And if you don't understand that basic fact, then we can't talk about complicated shit with spirit levels.
Oh, post a link.
What
I want
about
to see
AC?
it.
No, that's fine. I'll post a
I am
couple.
the citation. I am the link.
So I'll find something because it's counterintuitive with a balloon with helium floating inside a car. When the car accelerates, the helium balloon will go forward. Despite your body, when you feel acceleration, you're pushed backwards. You'll see the helium balloon go forward because of relative density and the force imparted on everything inside. But I got you. 1 sec.
And not to confuse things further, but that balloon is actually being pushed backward as well as you accelerate. The problem is, for you, is that everything in the car, including the air, mainly the air, is pushed back and has more weight than the air. So it looks like it's going forward, but it's really the air, the heavier air, the more dense air, going backward, just like your body is more heavier than the air going backward.
Why are we talking about acceleration? Like,
because
I'm simply talking about
we have to
when you're on a
understand the
plane,
basics.
that spirit level stays level.
Right, we have to understand the
who cares
basics
about
before we can.
acceleration?
We have to understand the basics before we can move on to the complicated, right?
So what do you want the spirit level to do on the plane? If
That plane should be adjusting as it goes over the curve, so you'd expect that water bubble to go to the back.
why?
No, we wouldn't.
Well, actually, you would.
The curve
No,
is
actually, we wouldn't.
That is
I wouldn't.
ridiculous.
Nobody else
Or
here
it
would.
would go somewhere. It'd go to one of the either sides.
No, we wouldn't expect that. Nobody expects that.
Why doesn't your
What are
head
you talking
fly
about?
to the back
On
of the car
liftoff,
when
it
you're
goes to
in
the back.
car?
No, it
yeah,
actually
that's
goes
fine.
to the front.
Yeah,
it
on
goes somewhere.
yes,
Either
so-
way,
but we
as
can have
it's
a real
on
conversation.
cruising altitude, it stays in the center.
Yes, we can have a real conversation about it
exactly
because
what we expect.
upon departure, there's an extreme angle that it takes, and it's also accelerating upwards. So there's two different ways that the bubble is going to be manipulated in some way where it's not going to be level. You're right. And then when it's at cruising altitude, it's maintaining its speed, so it's not accelerating or decelerating, or if it is, it's very, very minute, and it's maintaining its elevation. It's not deviating to maintain elevation. It's just maintaining elevation. That's all.
Yeah, he can't be real, dude. You can't be real, Whammer.
Whammer, I posted a video. I posted a video in chat. Like smarter
honestly,
everything.
you're falling for some thought experiment when in reality
You're 80% real.
Whammer,
we've seen it. You're 80% real.
I mean, there's always some thought experiment that can take you down some rat hole
Join the team,
that
Whammer.
makes you think
Join the team.
otherwise. But the reality
Nah, fuck
is,
that.
it's flat. It's telling you
Whammer,
right there.
Whammer, for this, you're calling it a thought experiment. I'm giving you a video in the chat right now showing the.
That's not a spirit
helium.
level.
No. It's going to act in the same way.
I want to see a
water,
spirit level, not a balloon.
We can have a real conversation like adults. We can.
No,
But you
we're
have to
talking about a spirit
Humility
level,
or you're not real, Whammer. Humility or you're not real, buddy.
Until I see the spirit level, until you provide something, Adam, you can shut your mouth. But yeah, I want to see a spirit level.
It's all physics. It's just physics. If you don't understand the physics,
okay, so no, you don't.
I would love to talk like an adult. I would love to have a conversation with another adult.
You can't talk about it until you provide it.
I would love to have a conversation with an adult, Whammer.
You want to wait? First mistake.
I want to see it. You can't sit here and make claims without providing it. Number one. And we're talking about a spirit level.
Whammer wants to hear physics.
Wirus has one too.
Right.
I want to see a spirit level.
How about Wirus's video showing a container with fluid and air inside of it?
Spirit level. That's the only thing
What's
I'm
the
going
difference
with.
between
see
a spirit level and a water with a water bottle?
It's
not good enough, dude. You know why? Because you don't have it.
And water sticking to it. Where's DMOC when we need him?
See, look how they try to change it all up, guys.
No,
See,
there's nothing changing.
Spirit level. They'll
There's
show
nothing
you some
changing.
fucking balloon. A spirit level's not a balloon.
Okay, Whammer, look at Wirus's video. It's a water bottle with a liquid and air.
No, I don't want
That's
that either. I
literally
want a spirit level.
Whammer, I would love to have a conversation with you.
Until then,
that you're an
dude,
adult.
Why doesn't your cup of water spill in the car, Whammer?
You're out,
Why
dude.
doesn't your cup of water spill in the plane? Get fucking real, dude. It's fucking
Dude, you
bullshit.
just
Y'all
are a
gonna
little
treat
too
this dude
naive,
like he's
Adam.
real
What can I
right
tell you?
now? This motherfucker ain't real.
Yeah, this is why we shit on Whammer every day. This
Don is right.
No, not necessarily. You haven't provided anything. Until I see the fucking spirit level, there's nothing to talk about.
Okay. I'm gonna reset myself. I'm gonna reset myself, and I'm gonna give you another chance, Whammer. What is a spirit level? The material of a spirit level. What is it?
No, dude. We're not going into that. I simply want to see the spirit level, and as you drive, I want to see that fucking thing manipulate where that air bubble goes. And until then,
nobody believes that shit
I
happen.
don't care how spirit level works. I just want to
that's
see the
fine.
spirit level. That's what
You're
I want.
missing
right.
standard data. You're missing standard
It's
data.
that
Whammer.
simple.
You're philosophy. You're fine on a lot of other things. When you get caught on some
You've been
points,
on a plane
you need to
before, right,
humble
Whammer?
yourself and recognize you fucking whack on something or you're not real, dude. For real.
I couldn't give two shits.
Well, then fuck you then.
This is
Then
why
go fuck yourself.
you're being
So
intellectually
until I see that
dishonest.
spirit level, I don't buy it.
You're being intellectually dishonest because there's
No,
basic
not.
things that you could do that you
Dude,
could
that
substitute one to one
fucking
with the
spirit level should be getting manipulated as that
He wants to talk
fucking
about
plane adjusts. Are you saying
You're a
no?
slot machine, bro. You're taking on the world right now.
The plane is not adjusting; it's
Two shits.
maintaining elevation. That's what it's doing. It's
Well, it's
maintaining
pretty
elevation.
fucked up and pretty brainwashed, so it's not that big of a challenge.
Whammer, do you think a plane has to point its nose down to lose elevation?
No. On a flat plane, no.
Why do you think it should point?
Not on a
its nose
ball.
down?
On a ball, yeah.
Have you've been on a jet before, right? You've been on an airplane.
Yeah.
When you're landing, which direction is the nose pointing?
When I'm landing, it's pointing
No.
downwards. As
No,
it's
it's not.
as
It's
it's
pointing up,
as it's
isn't it?
going
It's
for
up.
the descent, it
pointing
goes
up.
downwards and then it pulls
No,
up.
it doesn't. It's pointing up almost the entire landing path, right?
No, see, almost he says. He says almost. You heard that part, right, guys?
No, it is.
The
It is.
back wheels at first.
Almost.
Whammer, what they do is they increase the surface area, so they increase the drag and the resistance, so they're slowing down. And then given the balance of equations at a particular speed, at a particular pitch, with particular surface areas exposed, you're going to have a more downward or decrease in elevation due to this, despite being at a high speed, despite pointing up.
You guys
This is
are out to
this is
lunch.
how it lands.
You're
So the
telling
next
me
time-
that at descent, they never point the nose of that airplane somewhat
No,
downwards
that
from
ain't
level?
what they asked you. They tell
No, that's exactly what's being asked, you imbecile. Stop eating, stop rumpusing. Stop dogpiling and rumpusing, you moron. No one's talking to you. You're out of the conversation. Effective immediately, so shut the fuck up.
Whammer, I'm not going to say never point down. If you have a level at 0 degrees. Hold on, Whammer.
Right,
be a fucking adult.
At least
be
you're
an
being
adult
honest.
for 2 goddamn seconds, Whammer. Be an adult for 2 fucking seconds.
No, dude, I
gonna
gotta deal with this
explain it
guy,
to you.
Adam.
Okay, who fucking cares,
Helium,
Whammer?
some retard name, and I'm sick of it.
I'm talking now, Whammer. Relax.
Mute
I'm
him.
not saying I don't have power. I'm not saying that the plane will never point down below that eye level 0 degrees. I'm not saying it never does, but on descent, it will be above that 0 degree line, and all it's going to do is increase its surface area and decrease airspeed. That's what it's going to do, and it's going to lose elevation based on that.
Answer this question. Why would they have to point the nose downwards from level to get to the airstrip?
They don't need to, because you decrease airspeed.
No. They don't need to.
Too close to your microphone. That's why. Quit popping like a bowl of Rice Krispies.
To get a greater frontal area and have a higher angle of attack, which gives you more drag, which slows the plane down. Otherwise, if they point it down, they would increase speed. They don't want to do that. They want to slow down. So they use the flaps and the angle of attack to slow the plane down as it descends on final approach. Is that hard to It's too complicated to understand?
So they never point the nose down, you're saying?
No, they point the nose down initially on approach. Like
okay, exactly. Feet. Thank you very much. So shut the fuck up.
When you're
what was the question that they asked you, Hammer?
Just turn them down.
The right answer or the wrong
Okay,
answer?
is that what you want, Chemo?
Idiots I'm dealing with.
I'll just turn them down. That's fine.
When you're on your when you finally want to start descending and you're at 30,000 feet, the nose is pointed down for a while until you get to about 4,000 feet altitude and maybe about 5 or 6 miles out from the final destination. Then you'll start pitching the nose up, reduce the power. It creates a bunch of drag because you have a higher angle of attack, and you sink down to the runway with the nose up.
And what's sick is he knows this now. And for some reason, whenever somebody was trying to make a point or something that I want to hear, man. Someone's trying to make a point that I wanted to hear, right? And because you're dishonestly answering the question,
who are you talking to?
Get to hear this point. Bio, were you going to make a point about when you were asking him which way is pointing relative to the level and all that, man?
Well, I mean that's like the complicated part of it. It's just you're still going to be pointed up, and just look at the flaps of an airplane. The flaps of an airplane.
Okay with it pointing up
being an adult, Whammer.
Why are you interrupting? Why are you interrupting, Whammer?
Whammer, for 5 seconds, just be an adult, please. It sounds like your balls have dropped, but you don't have the mental capacity to catch up with it. So relax, be an adult, and just listen.
Coming to the fucking arena, dude.
So now let's
let
just
me tell you
cut it logically with the flaps.
I stick up for you plenty of other times, Whammer.
I've ever talked to.
Whammer, we're shitting on you because all you're doing is talking over people. You ask a question, there's an answer being given to you, and all you're doing is talking over people. Relax for 5 seconds. Please relax for 5 seconds. Now think about this logically. Look at the flaps on an airplane. Have you ever been on the wing when they start pushing the flaps down or out? I'm sorry, they go down. So if your plane is going to pitch down and your flaps are going down, those flaps are doing shit about your surface area and drag. So when they pitch up, they're increasing that surface area to those flaps that are coming out of the wing, increasing your drag. Just logically based on that.
Hold on,
that's simple enough, man.
Biodual, why would the airplane, the guy flying the airplane, point the nose down initially?
Because they're not worried about their speed of, what is it? They're not worried about their airspeed at that point. All they're worried about is elevation.
Why would you do that? Why would you point your nose down initially?
Because you're trying to get to an elevation drop, that's all. And when you get to a certain point, at a certain point, now you're worried about your airspeed because you can control your elevation drop with your surface, the drag, and then your airspeed. So when you get to a certain elevation, that's what you're worried about. You're not worried about decreasing your elevation.
Deep end,
okay, Whammer, you're talking to a pilot in the chat. You're talking to an aircraft avionics technician. You're talking to professional people in that field. What do you know about airplanes?
Pilot's license,
What do you know about airplanes, Whammer?
I've been doing private flights. It's not that crazy. So stop acting as if this is some fucking super complicated study that
It's
takes
so
4
fucking
years
easy,
to
Wimmer.
understand.
Wimmer,
Shut your
it's so
pile.
fucking easy. It's so fucking easy. That's why I'm shitting on you, because you're not getting it, despite it being so fucking easy.
You're
It ain't
trapped,
fucking
my
a full
man.
study. It's a
Why
water
would they
bubble,
ever need
motherfucker.
to
A
point that
water
nose down to
bubble,
begin
Whammer.
with?
You talking about a seesaw yesterday and a water bubble today, bro.
But do you know the answer to the
Come on.
question, right? Whammer? Why do they point the nose down?
Why?
To lose elevation, right?
Why are they losing elevation?
Because they're landing.
Yeah, so okay, there it is. How come you're not seeing that at all?
So how come they're not
For
pointed
the
down?
curvature of the Earth as you fly.
Why are they not pointed down
Because
when
they're
they
not
land?
losing elevation.
Because the Earth's too fucking big, Whammer.
Whammer, why when they land? When airplanes land, 100% of the time, why are they not nose down until they touch the ground? Get fucked.
Do you expect an answer?
I asked you a question.
Do you expect me to answer
There was
you?
a question mark at the end of it. I'm
Is
waiting
that what you
for
expect? Get the fuck out of here.
No, I don't expect an answer. No. I expect
Myodor,
silence.
why can't you see the signs? Why are you so blind?
What do you
I mean, he has to be a troll. No one's that retarded.
Well, I mean, in a way, you're complaining about Whammer, who is an absolute jackass, over talking you. Yet you're over talking the entire chat, hijacking it to deal with this troll who has absolutely zero interest in anything that you have to say.
Objecting, curved.
Nothing. He just wants to fuck with you. And
He could
interact
be
Okay,
with
that
all of
I'm
You have
that.
him talking to your mic so much.
I'll step in with BioDuel if he wants me to.
Curve,
I
I'll
was
take that
busy.
into consideration. Not that it's
So
any different than any other day or
If anybody's
but
got a problem with my microphone, just turn me down as per
No, it sounds
chemo.
great, Curve. Do you mind if we talk now? So
I
BioDuel, you
do
said that
mind.
planes don't nose down on descent.
I
do.
didn't say that.
No one
I didn't
said
say
that.
Land, they don't.
Okay, well, what were you saying?
We were talking about when they land. Upon landing, they are nose up.
Yeah, right at the last minute, but
No,
up until
not the
then,
last
depending
minute,
on the
no,
glide path
no,
or the angle
no.
of descent, in small planes, we nose down almost the whole time until the very, very end.
What elevation are you nose down until?
Sometimes it can be as low as 300 foot. You're talking about glide plan. I mean, I think y'all are talking about two different airplanes. Now, big jets, they have a glide plan that they enter. So they're at certain altitudes, and it's altitude, not elevation.
Just out of curiosity, Rocky, how do they determine nose down on an airplane? What's the level line on an airplane?
We have a thing called a horizontal.
No, I know, but what determines the horizontal on an
Artificial
airplane?
horizon.
I know, but what determines that? What determines what level is on an airplane? I mean, there's got to be a point from the nose to the tail somewhere, right? Which you're going to draw a line and call that's the level line. That's the line of the airplane, right?
It's horizontal, yeah.
How do you draw that line?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
How do you know if an airplane is level?
The mechanical
He's saying
ones are
horizontal, he doesn't
liquid.
know what that means.
The digital, the non-mechanical ones are electronic.
No, I know.
Establish the horizontal.
But what do they line that thing up to on the airplane? Someone's installing this thing on an airplane, right? They're going to bolt it in somewhere. What do they use to determine what level is? How do they know how to put those bolts in? How do they know how to install this thing to say this is the level point of this aircraft?
Still don't understand your question because on every aircraft it's going to be different.
Just look at the horizon.
Go ahead.
Part of the question, I'm trying to point out the fact that saying an airplane is level is kind of nonsensical at the start because an airplane has no intrinsic level line.
Pitch, it's pitch, and I mean, but you
pitch of what?
But you can bring when you're in stable flight, when you're in level flight, everyone calls it, and you could bring a level, it would be level, right? You could get the pitch of the aircraft to make that spirit level out. Some reason you don't want me to talk.
What are you putting the level against, Rakia?
Yeah, but you can do that even if your artificial horizon isn't if you're at decenter climb.
You have a
it
level.
might not show on the level until a certain point,
no,
but it
you won't.
will show.
What do you put the level on, Rakia?
Level. If you're flying level, meaning you're not gaining or losing altitude, you could have your nose radically high. You could have it up at 20 degrees and have a lot of thrust be applied, and you'd be flying level. The plane would not be level.
How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, the nose of the airplane doesn't dictate whether you're ascending or descending.
You wouldn't. Is my microphone working?
Hey,
Yeah.
stop.
Yes, the problem is that you're interrupting. That's the problem.
Stop talking. So you're
Yeah.
fine.
Can you repeat that? So I'm
Quiet.
having a hard time.
Microphone boy, stop it. So
What?
Rakia.
Don't talk to me like
Yeah,
that.
no, you interrupting.
This
You're
is
making
fake.
nonsense and just making.
Don't be racist.
I'm not even sure
Quiet.
what y'all are arguing about.
Muted.
Like,
Permanently, I'll kick you. Listen, Rakia, you're flying a plane. If you have the nose at 10 degrees, for example, you can fly perfectly level by applying thrust to the airplane, to the aircraft.
yeah,
So what are we guys
absolutely.
talking?
Yeah.
What are we talking about
Stop
today?
interrupting. That mouth
The
here.
fakest accent
What's
I've
that?
ever heard.
Is it because I'm drowned?
Stop interrupting. You're interrupting.
Go
the-
ahead, Zanuck. I agree with you. Yeah, go ahead. What's your point?
So level.
Please don't talk
Just
to me
stop.
like that.
Just turn him to
Every
zero.
word you're doing is just causing confusion. All right, I'm talking to Rakia. Just shut up.
Rakia, don't be a hypocrite.
So Rakia, now the planes are designed to
Who
fly.
unmuted him?
Oh my God, planes are designed to fly.
Hey, don't mute me, okay?
Stop
That
it.
is-
Hey, just shut your mouth for a little bit. All right. Planes are designed to fly.
Did you just spray him with water?
Shut the fuck up. What's wrong with you? Are you retarded?
You're talking.
Are you retarded? Seriously, are you really missing a few screws?
Zanuck, get back to the talk.
You got the plane. If it's designed with the orientation of its wings to its fuselage, called an angle of incidence, and that's just how that wing is proportioned and angled with respect to the straight horizontal line going down the middle of the fuselage. They design it so that in level flight with a full load, it flies relatively straight, maybe slightly nose up, but that can depend on how much.
Wait, what
you
are we
have in it.
talking about again? We're talking about aeroplanes?
Would you shut up?
Don't talk to me like that.
Kick him from the
I'm
server.
talking
Stop
to
being
you.
so
Who are you
racist.
talking to?
Just kick him
But
from the
you're right,
server.
Fuck yourself.
So when you put a level on your coffee table in your airplane, it's not going to read level, even when you're flying level. Does that make sense? So a plane's
Yeah, but it
attitude-
doesn't matter if it's level with the attitude of the plane. If you level out and that level is level and you go to nose down or nose up, that level is going to indicate that. That's the whole point.
Relative
I
to
don't get
what?
what you're saying.
No, it won't, because I
To
can.
what
I can
you
have,
just did.
I can have
You just
hold on.
zeroed it out.
I can have a plane that's designed to fly nose down, and your coffee table in your little passenger seat, you put the level on there, and it will show you going level, but you're going down, or I can make it so you're going up, or I can make it so you're going level. It doesn't have any. You see, the question asked of you, what are you referencing it to? That's the question. You just hold the level. What is it referencing to? The floor of the airplane? The wings? What? How about the horizon? How about level? How about the plumb line? I mean, you have to be clear what you're trying to orient it with respect to.
Yeah. I thought the argument was about a level on a plane now.
The level can be in your plane, and the plane can be going up or down. The fuselage can be pointed up or down, and you can still be flying level. So the whole thought and the whole idea is nonsensical. Because that's not how
I don't
level
think it's a
works.
great argument, but you could zero out the level, and then every time you pitch up or down, it would indicate on that level.
What do you mean zero? What do you mean by zero the level out? How do you zero
Well,
level out?
you could fly the plane. You could trim the plane out to wherever you put that level would be level.
Okay, so
and you
for
might
the
be
floor,
descending or
floor of the
ascending,
airplane.
and then when you
So
change
for the floor-
altitude, when you
I'm gonna
change
set the plane, hold on. I'm going to set the plane so that I'm flying level, and I have the level on the floor, and it's reading level. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, yeah.
That's
And then
very
when you pitch up
difficult
or
to do.
down,
That's
when
very
you pitch
difficult
up or
to do.
down, it's gonna.
Are
But
you
it
listening to me?
could be done. I think
That's
that's
very
the argument,
difficult.
though.
It's very difficult to do because most planes are dependent upon the speed and the weight and balance to determine whether that's possible or not. Many planes will not.
First of all, it was like we were just hypothetically saying that. You could do it, right? And when you would pitch that airplane up or down the nose, then it would indicate that level is what they're saying.
No,
so when they put their level on a plane, wherever they put it, on the toilet seat, on the tray table, whatever, and it shows level for a long time, and then they start to descend, and it shows the.
I can fly the nose up and fly. I can have the nose up and fly level. Do you understand?
Don't tell me you don't know what the point they're trying to make.
I
Y'all are smart
can
enough.
fly a plane. Just acknowledge that I'm
I think
speaking.
you just want to argue.
I can tell you that a plane can have its nose up and it can fly perfectly level.
Yeah, we've heard.
Do you know what that means?
I agree. Yes.
Okay, good. So it doesn't have anything.
You're not. Look, that all sounds great and fools some people. But if you don't get the argument that the people are trying to say with the spirit level, which I don't think is a great argument, but if you don't get the argument, then you're the fool, right?
I get the argument. I get how stupid people are in trying to use it as an argument.
Yeah, but why are you fighting it so much? Why don't you just say, yeah, I could?
Because
I'm a great pilot, right? I could fly the airplane. I could trim it out to where your level, wherever you put it, would read level.
No,
and then when I nose up or down,
it's not always possible.
That level would indicate.
It's not always possible.
Jesus,
you can't trim it out to make that possible.
You're out your mind, man. You could shim the level. You could trim out the airplane however you want.
And I
promise you, I can make a level on that plane anywhere.
Fine. So now you're sinking. The plane's falling, and yet it's level. Yes, you're right.
You're still going to fight it, right? Even though you know what I'm talking about.
You agree that you make that plane level?
I agree. You don't know what you're talking about now. Either you're being deceptive on purpose, or you just want to argue.
You're oriented level, and the plane's falling. You understand that, right?
Sure, great. I could still make that level, that spirit level that I brought on the plane, indicate level. And anytime you deviated from where you're currently at, it would show on that level. And if you can't understand that, you're not a pilot.
What are you talking about? Now, all I have to do is decrease speed and it'll change.
Oh, boy. I said anytime you deviate the nose of the airplane, it would show on that level.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, thank you. That's their whole argument. Thank you for agreeing.
The point is, you're not flying level, though. You'd be either increasing altitude or decreasing
if you're flying level.
It's called autopilot.
So you're either increasing
altitude, of course you're flying level when you're
or you're decreasing altitude. But what you're saying is right, Reiki. I'm agreeing with you to a certain point. That if you trim that plane so it's perfectly level, so the floor that you're standing on in that plane is level, you can keep it there and fly that plane like that. Now, you may be increasing altitude or you may be decreasing altitude, but you would be flying with that plane oriented level. The question is, what does it need to do to fly over a great distance? Would that nose ever have to go up or down? No.
You just maintain altitude and
you can't
cruise over the plane.
Now you can't.
You cruise over the flat plane in the airplane and make sure you're above any mountaintop.
Okay, but you can't maintain altitude by doing what you're saying, because
yes you can.
No, you can't, because if you have the plane level, you cannot maintain. There's no guarantee you can maintain altitude because you may not be able to maintain altitude.
Come on, Xanax. Even Blue comes up with a better argument than that. Says that it's the pressure of the altitude, pressure of the atmosphere that keeps the plane following the curvature of the earth.
There's a very specific speed where you can fly that plane where it's oriented level and not gain or lose altitude. There's only one specific speed that will do that.
Yes, and it's easily maintained.
No, it's not easily maintained. It's almost impossible to maintain, actually. It's almost impossible to maintain what you're trying to do. That's why I keep on calling it, because it's just
you're always maybe gaining or losing altitude, but you're not nosing down and up all the time.
No, I'm telling you. No, you told me that you want to keep the nose level. I said you can do that.
If you want to have your fantasy where the plane is magically being pulled around a ball with your gravity, I'm fine with that, brother. But don't try and deceive people on this nonsense.
Let's look at a real world example. Let's say a plane is flying and it's only about 1 degree nose high, flying at 30,000 feet at some, at 500, miles per hour ground speed. So if you're doing that, you will not gain or lose altitude. You'll be flying perfectly level. The little directional indicator will be right on the level line, and your orientation of the plane will be 1 degree nose high. Now you'll do that forever. But you'll follow around a curve, and we know you're going on a curve because we can see the horizon in front of you, which is 3 degrees below you. Your nose is 1 degree up, the horizon is 3 degrees down, yet you're not gaining or losing altitude forever. as long as you have fuel. So there's
You mean the point in the point ahead of you, the horizon, right? The point ahead of you in the distance that appears
but what
where
if
the
we
sky
put the
meets the
bomb on the
ground,
plane,
and you're
the
saying
plane blows up
your
and
altitude indicator is above
everything
that,
blows
you're
up.
saying that's curvature?
Plane blows up, okay?
Or
That's not curvature, sir.
Or you can have
no, there is no curvature except for my ass, okay?
That's not curvature. That you can call it drop from the
That's what I
horizon
told
all
my
you want. That's
girlfriend, but,
fine. I even agree with that.
It's not drop from the horizon. It's drop from level.
It's not curvature.
Did you just ban that guy?
If you put a 6 foot horizontal above a flat plane and go out into the distance, and you're going to be 6 foot above that. When you gain altitude above a flat plane, of course your horizontal is going to be above the distance point where the sky meets the ground. Yeah,
Zanik, can you get him to explain all that bullshit he just said then?
It's optics again. I don't know what
What
optics
the fuck
is.
do you mean by optics?
Visual reference. The horizontal indicator
Idiot.
doesn't have
How do
anything
you
to
drive your
do with
boat?
that distance you're seeing, because sometimes it's close and sometimes it's far away depending on the visibility. What are you talking about?
Guys, let's please be all respectful in Jim Panda's
Yeah,
server.
I mean, come on, man. The indicator is just indicating horizontal, parallel with where you took off from.
What exactly is your argument, though?
You're 30,000 feet above the parallel plane that you took off.
Notice how he circled right back around to the horizon.
It's based off of air
No,
pressure.
Zanuck brought up the horizon. I just
nothing to
showed how
do
you.
with
It's
any
not Earth
calibration.
curve. It's just drop from horizon. It's not. That's
Yeah.
not Earth curve in anybody's book.
Of course, it's not.
It's just a
curved.
visual
Never-
effect.
Never mind.
Hello.
According to whom? According to whom?
According to whom? According to even
To
your
you?
model.
According to
No.
you, it's not
Okay. Is drop from horizon Earth curve, B-ball? Or is it a visual effect?
Drop from level. Drop from level.
No, drop from level. Whoever says that's drop from horizontal.
Drop from level. The horizontal, which is level. That horizontal, the horizon is below level.
Drop from level.
Yes, drop from an orientation, which is level.
You're just out of control.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
Go
drop
ahead,
from
look it
level
up.
and see if I can. Okay.
Look it up. It's not.
Zanuck, what are you doing?
Zanuck, seriously, the wall of stupidity is tall enough as it is. We don't need any more bricks in the wall.
I mean, sir, what you just said. I mean, you just demolished years of what we've been trying to.
3 strikes, bro. That's 3 strikes. He needs a 5-minute timeout.
Zanuck is a flat earther, man. He is trolling y'all.
Here every day.
Zanuck struck out swinging. Mute him.
Zanuck is a
No, he just gets confused sometimes and
no.
says the
He's
wrong
just being
thing.
Zanuck. He's trolling y'all.
strike.
That dude's a
That's still a
flat
strike,
earther,
Kurt.
100%.
He misspoke. That's it.
No,
with you.
I don't think so because he said it over and over.
What did I
again.
misspeak? What did I misspeak,
You're
Kurt?
silly. You're just silly.
Drop from level, sir.
Yes,
Care to
drop from
recant
level.
that?
The
You even
horizon.
told me to look it up.
Yeah, drop from level. Horizon is a drop
What
from
you're
level.
saying is not what
Why
you
do you
really
guys not
mean
love
to
that
say
level?
in the
This is
greater
priceless.
context.
The horizon is
Why
drop
is
from
that
level.
He's got his own boys telling him he's wrong.
What are you curve?
Why
The
is that
horizon
fair? I don't
is
get it.
below
What's wrong with
level.
that?
Hey, y'all fight it
Because
out.
he's
amongst
not saying
yourselves.
eye level, and they're getting. That's why y'all are.
Level is an orientation perpendicular to plumb. The horizon A dropped from
Yes.
level. Is a 3-degree drop from level. What part of that don't you understand?
Your local position. That's
No,
fine.
Is the window
Orientation.
is the window clean?
It's an orientation perpendicular to plumb. That is level defined. The horizon drops from level by 3 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm not misspeaking. I'm not confused. You are if you don't understand it.
Yeah.
So,
would it be fair to say
3% is
you're
just
talking
an
about
angle out
light
into the
level?
distance. It has nothing to do with elevation or height or altitude.
Then,
As your elevation,
What are you talking about, man?
Zanuck,
horizon.
Y'all have lost y'all's marbles.
Zanuck, is the horizon below level?
Yes.
Like literally, go do the experiment.
Always.
Like, okay, you'll see that we're right.
Yeah, the higher you
Then
go, it will
explain it.
drop from level.
Curve, do you understand that?
Yeah, why wouldn't you expect it to? You're gaining height.
Chicken nuggets.
Because on if it was a
I
flat
love
plane,
chicken.
it
I wish
wouldn't
I
do
had
that.
some
It would
right now.
continue on indefinitely.
Right. If you have a flat plane, the horizon will never drop from level. It'd be one and the same.
What?
Yes. Don't act
The
like
angle wouldn't change. What are you talking about?
Yes. If you have a
man.
flat plane,
need to learn some
and you increase
geometry,
your
dude.
elevation, the
mean like
horizon
we
will never
have?
drop from level.
No, clearly you haven't. If you think that the flat plane would drop,
This is fun.
I'm telling you, you're just dumb. I mean, it's like just wrong.
And they've been doing this for like 3 years now, right? And it's still dumb, piled on top of dumb.
Zanuck, go to the end of the bench and get me some. I want some sunflower seeds and some bubble gum.
Why don't you make a little CG demo of it? You can see the flat plane would not drop.
I just want to know how clean that window is that's been licked to death for 3 years.
It's got COVID on it.
I mean, it's so weird because we tell you verifiable, simple truths, and you guys just deny. You never bother to actually look into it. You just deny. I mean, it's not even hard to do. You can go do
Whoever's
it. Like
talking right now, I can't hear him at all. Is it me or them?
Yeah, well,
Somebody
somebody. Can hear me, I'm
Veach is talking, and it's a little quiet, but no big deal.
I couldn't hear him at all.
Okay, is this better if I do it like this?
No.
I still can't hear you, brother.
Not any better?
No.
I can't really fix that, unfortunately. But it's the simple truth, Rocky. All you really need to do is go out and try, and if you did, you would see that indeed the horizon does drop.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you're talking to me, there's no use because I can't understand a word you're saying.
All right, Rocky. Well, listen, you need to stop interrupting people.
I said I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother. I just can't. I wanted to let you know.
Interrupting people, then. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to start muting you. Is that clear?
Were you talking to me?
Oh my God!
Yeah, he was saying the horizon does drop below eye level, and you can go look at it.
Everybody can hear me.
Oh yeah. It definitely drops below eye level. Yeah, absolutely. That's not Earth curve though. That's the optical. That's the optical effect of gaining height over a flat plane. Of course, it's going to appear to
drop. A flat plane would not happen that way, though. A flat plane would continue on indefinitely, and therefore would never drop.
Never drop.
Horizon on a flat plane as well.
Not curving away. It's just appearing to drop. That's just how
it won't do that on
works.
A flat plane. It won't do that on a flat plane.
Where the horizon on a flat plane.
Yeah.
Think about how you draw a perspective. Draw a horizon in perspective of the vanishing line.
Yeah.
The plane.
Yeah.
All the way to the vanishing
if you could
line,
see forever.
Yeah, there wouldn't be no
from 30,000 feet instead of seeing like 200 miles or 300 miles or whatever on that particular day, or 50 miles on that particular day. If you could see forever, the horizon would appear to rise towards your eye level. But since you can't see forever, and it seems like you're over talking me now.
No, that's wrong. I agree with the first part, which is that yes, if you could see forever, you would see it. You can't see forever, but what doesn't happen is because you can't see forever, you don't see a horizon drop perfectly in line with the globe. That doesn't make any sense.
See, because you're gaining altitude, you see further and you see the sky meet the ground at that angle. That's it.
You do see further.
If you could see
further, but the angle is not where it should be.
Sure, it is. It's exactly where it is.
We can prove this. We can prove this by going to a little shorter distance and do a little bit of trigonometry. Say 100 miles. When you're flying at 30,000 feet, you can easily see 100 miles. If you took an angle to the ground, you would see that angle would not correspond with 100 miles. We know it's 100 miles because we have radar that can determine that we're 100 miles out.
Yeah, that's just the angle where your optical vision is limited.
I'm telling
it's
you,
not Earth curve.
No. Then what is it? Why, when we're 30,000 feet high and we're 100 miles away, that we measure a certain angle which does not comport with a flat surface beneath us? It's a greater angle. Sure. It's a greater angle. It's 1 degree off.
No.
Yes. It's 1 degree off.
It's just an optical angle.
No,
you can measure.
We're not talking about optical effects here. We're talking about 100 miles.
An apparent position.
Stop talking. It's not apparent position. We're looking down.
Sure it is.
No, we're looking down.
Yeah, but
we're looking down at the ground.
Out into the distance.
We're looking down at the ground.
Have y'all lost it? Y'all are trolling me now.
You're literally
moron. Seriously, Rocky, stop it.
No, seriously. Drop from level, drop from horizontal is not Earth curve, right? That's just optical.
If we look out at 100 miles and we measure
what they're saying, you might start to understand.
Even if it was a sphere at y'all's given radius, you wouldn't see that.
If the tower says, if the tower says you're 100 miles out, we see you clearly. We're using radar. We see you, and you look at the tower, green light that says that the airport's open, and you measure the angle to that tower. knowing how high the tower is and how far away you are, it will be lower angularly than it would be if on a flat surface. I don't know how else to explain it to you.
Yeah, because you're looking out into the distance.
I'm just telling you, it doesn't match with a flat surface.
Dude,
what's wrong with
where
you?
does optical effects, when you look out into the atmosphere, especially, let's say, through a windshield of an airplane, but discount that. When you're looking 200 miles into the distance.
I said 100 miles.
You're measuring to
miles.
what? Okay, 100, even 100 miles.
So let's go through the calculation.
100 miles.
Let's go through
You're measuring to what?
Miles.
You're measuring what angle to
let's
what?
Let's go through the calculation. All right.
No, let's not. Let's just say.
Let's do that.
Let's just go with the optical effect.
5 miles high. Okay. 5 miles high.
You can do all the calculations you want.
5 miles high and 100 miles. You take the 5. Listen, Recky, you might learn something. 5 miles.
That's not me talking, sir.
Stop it. 5 miles divided by 100 is 0.05. Take the inverse tangent of that. We get 2.86 degrees. That's where that point should be. And that's if it's flat. But yet we measure 3.5. So why is it different?
What are you talking about? Where are you measuring to?
The 100-mile airport.
Rakia, you're so ridiculous.
You're being really
So
stupid.
you're looking 100 miles to an airport, and you're expecting it to be at a certain point, right?
Well,
Due to your
you can use
calculation.
trigonometry if the ground is flat.
Yeah, well, does that
where it is.
trigonometry have any optical effects included in it? What are you measuring
There's not going
to?
to be an optical effect that causes
Why is
this
there an
to match
optical
the globe.
effect?
That's ridiculous.
Why do you guys keep doing this day in, day out, same shit?
I know.
Because they don't understand when you look 100 miles through
No,
atmosphere
you
and
don't
glass,
understand.
you can't measure to it.
No.
You can try and you can do all the calculations that makes
when
it
can
look
you not
like it
measure
fits
through
your pre-assumed radius or whatever you're plugging into your
Here's what you're
calculations.
basically saying.
But
You
it's
think
absolutely
optical
not.
effects all conspire to exactly make things look like a globe, which is absurd.
No, I don't, because they change on different days. If you go at the same altitude on a different day and take that same measurement,
You'll get the
that
same
you're
result.
calculating, no, you won't.
Same result. Yes, you will.
I promise you won't.
You haven't done it, Rakia, so how are you going to promise me?
God, oh man, you
I'm
don't see
telling
it,
you,
do you?
you are literally incompetent. I don't understand what the problem is here. All you have to do is try it, and you would see.
I don't get what you're saying. I've already agreed that there's drop from horizon.
Well,
it's a measurable effect, right? It's a measurable visual effect.
There should not be on a
Sometimes
flat
it's 1%, sometimes it's 5%,
plane.
sometimes it's
No, it's the same
3.5%.
on any given height, but it should not
Yeah,
exist
keep
on a
telling
flat
yourself
plane.
that. Keep telling
It should
yourself
not
that.
exist. It should not exist on a flat plane.
What are you talking about? The visual effects of that angle should not have
It's not a visual
exist.
effect. It's geometry.
It's trigonometry.
It's geometry.
I thought y'all said y'all were using cosine and sine and trig.
Trig is part of geometry, it's genius.
At least you got something right. Part genius, I would say.
Rakia, like, it's just ridiculous. All you have to do to verify this is try it, and yet you never do. You just deny it.
I do? I'm going to stick to that method of trying to find that curved water. It's eluding me.
Well, if all you have to do is do this measurement, and you'd see.
You can measure an angle. Hang on a second. You can measure an angle from altitude through the atmosphere 100 miles and get it within what?
Within enough that it won't change significantly from day to day to day.
But can't create a horizontal line over 1 mile and show me 8 inches of drop?
You can.
Please.
You can do that. You could do that. That's easy.
You can't sell me that ice there, Eskimo.
You can do that, Rakia. I don't know why
You
think
can
draw a
do
horizontal
it.
line. Of course you can. It's just not going to be fun to do, but you can do it.
Right. Okay, walk me through the process, because I want to do it. Seriously.
Okay. You get one of those line drawing machines, or you use a computer to get yourself a straight line that you project onto some sort of like canal wall. You draw the straight line by tracing the thing that you projected with the computer, and then you measure for the height to the water as you go along the distance of a mile. Boom.
And would that drop from that line be 8 inches over 1 mile?
Yeah. Well, it would be whatever
It
the right
would?
number should be. Yeah. Yes.
So the line would be straight. You've created this straight line with your computer deal and drawn it on a wall. And
that's right.
When I stand at point A, and you're at point C, which is a mile away, and someone's at point B, are they higher or lower than me?
Well, they're not the same height because elevation is what determines height. So you're all at the same elevation, but the line is going to go in increasing elevation, or it's going to not be curving with the earth, so it's going to look like a diagonal a bit, but it's going to have a higher height on one end of the wall than it will compared to the water than it will on the other end.
When they were building the LIGO interferometer tube, they like the 4 kilometer or whatever it was, like they had to be careful when they were laying the cement to avoid this effect.
No shit. Tell us something we didn't know when they built the fucking thing.
Davros, there's no need for the rudeness. Come on.
Yeah, there is.
Yes, there is, Scott.
Aussie rage, Scott. Aussie rage. He gets a pass.
No, there isn't.
Gem Panda, we've had this discussion. You know I'm not a nice guy.
You really are, though, Davros. I know you wish you weren't,
Yeah,
but
well,
you're a pretty nice guy.
Try and be, because you don't want a new person have the first interjection into the room, and you tell them they were stupid for even mentioning it because you already knew about it.
So you don't want to give us Aussie
It's not very well
name,
put,
ever.
is it?
Pretty crazy.
I'm saying it for Rakia's sake.
Sorry about that. I got a phone call. I hope y'all didn't. Do y'all hear it? I don't
And so that's, Rakia, how you cure cancer. I hope, when you're taking notes, I hope you took notes.
I couldn't hear you.
Who's Goo Goo Gaga into the mic?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was me.
It's all right. Kids are a blessing, brother.
I didn't assume that was a